Sorry for the delay. We'll go ahead and call to order the Tuesday, January 20th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation to order, and a roll call by the secretary.
Jonathan Stuchel.
Present.
Tom Rolfson, absent. Bob Culbertson, absent. Chris Schultmeyer's here. Joe Brickler is absent. Peggy Brickwood, here. Ray Culbertson.
Here.
Jeff Edwards.
Here.
Allie Palmer is absent. Chris Sauer.
Here.
Amy Yosmali. Here. Meredith Hughes.
Here.
Taylor Voigt.
Present.
And Tim Wordman.
Here.
Everybody.
All right, is there, we need a motion on the second page. I have the minutes from the December 17th meeting. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented? Are there any corrections?
Second.
Treasurer's report? We'll have to get that for next month. All right, so as far as action items, just to give a quick update, as far as right now, currently, again, we're working with our relocation specialist to find a new home for the remaining tenant for the shopping center, so there is progress. At this point, I guess if just a brief description, I guess, from Mr. Wordman on the current state of the demolition bidding process.
Yes, the RFP for demolition bids went out and was advertised in the Enquirer. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. Tuesday a week ago, and then 26 was one of them. In any event, they're out. There is a scheduled walkthrough. There was a request by a number of the demolition firms for a walkthrough of the properties. That will take place next Monday, so I'll need keys for that. And then the bids are scheduled to be opened the 11th of February, I believe is the date. So there's been good response from what I can tell. You know, the names that you would expect, O'Rourke and Evans, et cetera. So there are a number of folks that have called and asked for bid packets, and they've been provided with such. So hopefully we'll get a good response.
Great, thank you. Next item, of course, and again, Taylor, I'm not putting you on the spot, but obviously we're probably not in a point where we're going to make any progress as far as with the idea of moving forward to have our properties, you know, moved over to the land bank.
I actually do have an update on that.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I was sorry.
So I did speak with someone down at the land bank just to clarify their process, and they have adjusted what they're willing to put into holding agreements for communities. But so long as the CDC or CIC was the one that initiated the acquisition and acquired the property, that is something that they're open to, as opposed to the land bank being the one to acquire the property and then transferring to the CDC eventually. So it is something that the process would just look like us going through their pitch, which they have weekly meetings to talk through that, and then a standard donation and holding agreement, which is a boilerplate document. So I actually do think we could accomplish it relatively quickly if that's something that the board is interested in pursuing.
So while we're on that subject, I guess, so whether or not I delay the RFP for the mowing for right this moment for a month, but, again, whether or not you think that we can get this done. I mean, the one, obviously, piece of property, the largest that's mowed being the old firehouse, Long John Silver's property, whether or not, anything would happen with that property beforehand, but whether you feel like everything else pretty much is probably be sitting as is with just the maintenance that needs to be done to a grass lot. So I guess at this point, would it be, is it something that we want to pursue and move on and then delay?
I would recommend it, just given the holding costs that we're incurring for the properties, both from a mowing perspective and also a property tax perspective. There is, in that agreement, which we will need to review and vote on here likely, there are rules related to paying back some of the maintenance fees, but they have so many properties throughout the county that they're going to get economies of scale that we cannot get for maintenance of the properties. So the property tax savings alone, I think, is worth the pursuing a holding agreement.
So at this point, do you think we could reach out and have this expedited and have them look through our property inventory and move on this ASAP to a point where we could get something in place then, and whether or not it would be voted on at the next meeting, whether or not it'd be something that we could call a special meeting? I mean,
I think so, yeah.
so I guess at this point, it would behoove us, I mean, Meredith, do you think is there at this point anything that we would need to vote on as far as just to pursue that or get the agreement, in process?
Taylor, does the land bank have to pitch it to the whole board? Or is it just pitch and then they give us the agreement, we look at the agreement and sign if interested?
Correct, yeah, it doesn't go to an external board, it's an internal approval at the board.
Okay. I don't think we have anything to vote on until we have the agreement in front of us.
Taylor, the only thing at this point that we would need to determine, I guess, would it be everything? Because at this point, if we're talking about properties that we're demoing, moving to demo, would it exclude the shopping center?
I will ask that question to them and pose it. I mean, it's a relatively simple process to get the properties back out of the holding agreement if we have something that we need to move on. So I would say we should include anything we can until there is something that prompts us to pull it out of the holding agreement. But Meredith, that might be a...
But I'm concerned about us demoing a property that would be in process. I mean, it could come...
Yeah, I wouldn't do it on the shopping center property. I'm more so thinking about the across the street, Long John Silver's property, but I'll let you chime in on that.
I will chime when I see the agreement. Does this save us on 2024 taxes, or would it just be going forward?
It would start with the next tax bill.
Okay, so we will strike the CIC mowing bids for 2025 for right this moment, and then we could delay it a month to determine whether or not this will work. If not, we will put it back out there and make it available for the bidding process to start. So you can just keep that extra piece of paper just for reference purposes, so perfect. Okay, as far as we are actually going to ask for a motion to go into executive session here in a few minutes, but what I wanted to do was to discuss, of course, the sale of property. At this point, we were going to ask if anyone on the board has anything under open discussion or additional agenda items. Anybody in the audience have anything under open discussion or additional agenda items? All right. So at this point, other than that, our next meeting is scheduled for February 25th. So anyone in the audience, you know when our next meeting is. But at this point, I'm going to ask again for a motion to go into executive session for the sale of property.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, there we go.
Motion made by Amy Ismaili and seconded by Joe Brickler. All those in favor? We gotta take a, okay. We will take the vote then. Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Wilson absent, Bob Culbertson absent, Chris Schulmeyer, yes. Joe Brickler. Yes. Peggy Brickwood.
Yes.
Ray Culbertson.
Yes.
Jeff Edwards.
Yes.
Ali Palmer is absent. Chris Sauer.
Yes.
Amy Yosmali.
Yes.
All yeses, no nays.
Okay, thank you. And this pretty much concludes things until we come back out to adjourn immediately following our executive session. Yes.
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 Is there a motion to adjourn?